Hi there, and welcome back to our weekly Fuel Arts online webinar series where we mix the two worlds together, the world of creative tech and venture capital. My name is Denis Belkevich. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Fuel Arts, and my today's co-host is the head of partnerships and business development at Fuel Arts, Daria Rzhavtsova. Uh, Hi, Dasha.
Hey
Happy
everyone.
to see you. I know that you're in Lisbon now. So you've just participated at the Web3 summit on behalf of Fuel Arts. So maybe just a quick recap of the most important topics that have been discussed there.
Of course, Web Summit is really great place to meet a lot of investors and to meet a lot of startups. And actually, I've attended several side events and as well as panel discussions during the Web Summit. And like all of the investors are talking about the importance of supporting the startups today and especially early stage startups. As well, I was so happy to see so many Web3 startups during this year and also several art tech startups, which are based in Europe, and Web3 startups from Miami. So it was really nice to talk to them and to know more about their projects.
Cool. Thank you for this recap. And we'll remind to our listeners and viewers that during these months, we're uncovering the potential of the Miami-based startups as soon as Fuel Arts has recently moved to the Miami area. And throughout the last months, we've been mixing the most interesting startups in creative tech and also representatives of different communities, especially from the venture capital community. This night, we've experienced a bit of hurricane here in Miami, but now it's fine. That's what startups are usually experiencing, hurricanes and sunny weather, thunderstorms, and success. So our today's guest represents both the startup world and the community management. Uh, we're happy to welcome today Anna Gandrabura, the founder of English for IT, an established service offering specialized language teaching and workforce development, specially tailored for tech companies. And also Anna is the co-founder of the Chain Miami, a central hub for Web3 events, educational resources in the Miami area. And we also know that Anna is a social media influencer with nearly 500,000 on Instagram and 250,000 subscribers on TikTok. Hi, Anna.
Hi
Happy
guys.
to meet you here.
Thank you for such a great intro. I sound really important.
Sure.
Basically,
You not only sound very important, but you act very important and
oh,
efficiently. So we've been at numerous events organized by the Chain Miami
yes,
in the
thank you
city,
so
and
much.
admitted the high level. So let's explore more for everyone who wants to either to tap into the Miami tech industry or to relocate here, as we did. I mean, at Fuel Arts. So
Absolutely. I love Miami and I love Miami tech scene. So I am always like, when I moved here, I decided that I want to be an ambassador for Miami, so, and it kind of like, came along because technically being involved in building the Web3 community actually kind of made me an ambassador. Of course, I'm only sharing like good things about it. Well, I mean, not only good things, but like, of course, honest things. However, yeah, so definitely we want more cool professionals down here to expand our Miami tech scene and Web3 scene and whatever other, tech. Um,
thank you. Yeah, before we start asking you questions, I should admit you have a very inspirational background. I assume that's uh, AI a bit, but I want to assure
oh, that's right.
everyone who has never been to Miami that Miami looks Absolutely the same.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, totally. Yeah, this is Miami Beach. I am in the Brickell-ish area here, but yeah, beautiful Miami Beach office without having to leave your apartment. So this is very nice. And credit goes to my friend who actually dal-ed. I don't know. Can we use it as a verb now? ChatGPT or dal-ed it. So yeah, very cool.
Dali addicted or dallied. Yeah, right,
Yeah.
right. We are also based in Miami Beach, actually. So our first question is quite a general one. In the last few years, we're witnessing the activation of creative tech activity in Miami. So, in your opinion, why has Miami always been a magnet for disruptive technologies and entrepreneurs?
So I moved to Miami in 2021, and it was the peak for, I believe, for like all the crypto and Web3 movement, and it was the time when a lot of things in art was happening as well. Because like Miami, I feel like this is has a pretty artistic vibe, even before the Web3 world, I guess, right? With all the art and the street arts that we can see in Wynwood here. Yeah, so technically I feel that was the reason for people being interested in art and technology. And as we all know, Miami became, during COVID, Miami became the capital for people to move here and continue doing their business, because that was pretty much the only place in the US where you could network, and meet people and do something. So yeah, but to be honest, for when you lived in Miami in 2021, it was really hard not to go down the rabbit hole, the Web3 rabbit hole, right? So it was pretty much everyone wanted to create an NFT collection, and anyone wanted to try themselves to be an artist and to do something in art, which is great, I think, because with new technology, I believe that you have to try things. If it works for you, it works for you. You guys are building your a startup, and you've been through all the bears market and bulls market, and you're still doing what you're doing. So you found that this is something that you want to continue doing. A lot of people just tried it out and they moved to another thing, or they just decided to go the other way. So I think that's kind of to me, it was the Miami mentality for people just to be very entrepreneurial and try things out. So I feel like that's the mindset of the city, so to speak. Yeah, so people are just entrepreneurial. They want to try things, they want to explore things, and that's technically why everyone went down the rabbit hole, the Web3 rabbit hole.
Thank you.
Cool. Anna, I'm just curious, and I think our audience as well. In 2022, you've started the Chain Miami, the curated community and social club for the top Web3 executive and builders and enthusiasts in the sphere. And just what have been the major milestones achieved so far since the beginning?
The great question. Yeah, I really want to share more about the chain, because that's the Web3 part. Well, not the only Web3 part that I'm involved with, but anyway. So I wasn't the first one who started the chain. Actually, I was invited to be a co-founder. The primary founder is Monica Rojas. She invited me down the road, and now there are more people involved into building the chain. So the chain is the community for Web3 enthusiasts. And, we started it when, Web3 was still hyping. It was still a big thing. And we started it as a Web3 dinner club. So every month we would host dinners and invite people from the Web3 community to meet, to make meaningful connections, to enjoy food. And then, when it was just getting really tough, with all the bear market, and, everyone, then the AI thing, everyone changed their LinkedIn bios from Web3 to AI, that's the shift that we saw. And we were still very consistent. And the milestone, we have hosted dinners every month. We never skipped a month. regardless of the market, regardless of the news, like, I don't want to talk about all the bad Web3 news, but, regardless of everything, we were still very devoted and very consistent with what we were doing. And to be honest, consistency is key in everything, like like you said, I'm a social media influencer, and like if you're not consistent, you will never make it there. But like, here's the same thing, like, because we were consistent, we were even like hosting during holiday season, and no matter what, we managed to build a community. The people know about that. They want to come. They're gonna come to these dinners. They want to network. They want to meet each other. They actually make meaningful connections. So like when I interview people, like what chain, how the chain helped you, and they're like, oh, I met this person, so we were able to partner up or like to do business. So this is great, and it's not about like the fact that Web3, of course, it's like if you compare investment in Web3, like VC investments in 2021, what it was like around $8 billion. And then 2023, it's around like 2 billion. So like 80% decline. Obviously, like it's really tough out there, right? But there are still people who are building. And to my surprise, personally, I'm always surprised that there are like at least 50% of new people at our dinners every month. And Miami is a small, like relative, like we don't compare it to San Francisco, right? It's a relatively small tech hub. And we're talking about specifically Web3. So these people are, in most cases, they are builders, right? Not like in 2021, a lot of people in Web3, they were just Web3 curious, right? That we coined this term, or Web3 enthusiasts, but they're actually builders. So they have companies. They either are founders or they work for big companies. So like, I'm always surprised that, I still meet people who are new after like having run this community for over a year. So that's great. So I feel that, that's something that we were able to nail successfully, just like by being consistent and bringing people value. And for example, this month we are running a Web3 fundraiser, well, tech fundraiser, where we decided, to use blockchain for good. And you can, we're fundraising on blockchain. Technically, you can buy, well, not a token, but you can buy a badge where we invited local Miami artists to create art for that. So she created, it's Superama. She's pretty well known in Miami. So Superama created 2 art pieces for us. And so you can donate either $25 or $50. You keep the art, and then we're giving this money to feed the homeless community in Miami. November is the month where you really want to give back. That's like, giving thanks. So we're also just trying to remind people blockchain for good, right? Blockchain originally was created with one purpose, right? To make it like open for people, right? So people can, it's accessible, people can use it. It like you can use it for good, technically, right? For charity. So we're creating proof of charity and proof of thanks. Yeah, so I will be happy if whoever is listening to us contributes and help the homeless, feed the homeless. Plus, when you when you get the badge, not only do you get the pretty art, but you also can take part in our dinner, in our November dinner. So you guys are welcome to join as well.
Thank you, Anna. That's very nice and generous what you are doing. I'd like to speak about the digital essence of your events, because when it comes to Web3, and if we just look at the very first definitions, very early definitions on Web3 and the pillars it's based on. So we can see there blockchain, we can see metaverse, now we can see the addition of AI there. So we're speaking about the digital world. And at the same time, we still have some tactile device in our hands 20 hours a day, which doesn't let us go to the digital. So something physical stays in our hands and in our minds. So in your opinion, why it's important to engage the Web3 community through a blend of digital and physical events like your dinners?
Yeah, well, Dennis, this is a really good question. And remember the time when, again, 2 years ago, it's all remember the time 2 years ago when in order to interact with Web3, you had to have a Web3 wallet, right? You had to have a MetaMask or whatever other wallet. And if you didn't have the wallet, you would not, you couldn't authenticate yourself. You couldn't use any Web3 thing, right? But then we came to realize it's not working because we're not it's too difficult for people. It's not feasible for people, for the majority, for mass, right? For mass market, so to speak. I mean, yes, it's not possible to scale this technology massively if we have this blocker technically, right? Because for a lot of people, this is something like, oh my God, I need to remember my seed phrase. No, that's crazy. And then what happened, they blended, right? Web3 and Web2, and then it became more accessible. Now that Web3 is on the back end and Web2 is on the front end for people, right? So the same here. I feel like this is a natural progression. This is a natural way to adapt to to adapt to changes and to adapt to new things, because the transition has to be smooth. And here, what we're observing a blend here, right? So then people started calling it Web 2.5 technically, right? So if, for example, I have a website and you can authenticate yourself on my website using either a wallet or your email, I'm not a Web3 company, right? I'm a Web 2.5 company. So I feel like this is natural. To be honest, I did something different in my company, in my bread and butter English for IT. I'm the founder of English for IT, the language and workforce development service for tech companies, right? So we are non-traditional language school because we cater specifically to companies in tech, and so we develop our own curriculum, but we still do it in online and hybrid formats, right? So the way I leverage Web3, because in 2021, of course, being an influencer, having my audience, I wanted to create an NFT collection, right? Of course, I wanted people to buy my NFTs, being in my club. But then I felt a little bit, I mean, I don't know, I didn't feel easy about this idea, maybe because everyone was doing it, and it was kind of, I don't know, it was kind of weird, and it wasn't making you different or anything. But I'm an educator. I've been an educator all my life, so I really wanted to see how I can leverage. It's not about earning money, right, or just doing what everyone else is doing. I wanted to see how I can leverage blockchain for education, and this is what we came up with. We created a blockchain verified platform for certification. So whenever you complete a course that is offered by English for IT, you get a successfully completed it. You get a certificate of accomplishment, and it is minted on blockchain. So technically, we used the same NFT technology, but we didn't use it for monkey faces for pretty pictures. We use it for a real use case that is valuable in education. However, speaking of this transition thing, right? When we created it, it was just the beginning of when people were starting to use Gmail to authenticate for Web3 on Web3 platforms. And I ran a survey in my community. So in order to receive a certificate, you have to have a MetaMask wallet. So I ran a survey in my community back then. I asked them, guys, who has a MetaMask wallet? And when my developer saw the statistics, he was like, oh my God, Anna. I wake up in the morning, he's a different time zone, and he was like, I created a Gmail for our certification platform. I'm like, why? He's like, I'm afraid people are not going to be able to use it. I'm like, no, I have a better idea. So this is what I did. I created 2 lessons on what Web3 is and how to get a MetaMask wallet, why you need a MetaMask wallet. And I added these 2 lessons in every course, because we are tech courses in the first place. Yeah, it's English, but it's for tech. So all content is very technical. It doesn't mean that everyone is a tech person who's taking the course. You might be an HR, but still HR for tech, you know? So I added these lessons, and you know what? We had 0 complaints. Like, people are actually loving it because they feel they're getting more, because they are learning about new tech, and they are like getting hands-on experience, because watching the video, like having watched the video, you have to actually download it and like do all the things. And plus, like, you know, then you have your certificate over there, and then you can share it on LinkedIn, and I'm like, oh my God, this is a great use case, because technically I am with my idea, I'm onboarding more people into Web3, like a very classic Web3, bypassing the Web2 path here. So this is what we did for English for IT. So technically English for IT is a Web 2.5 company, because we have our online learning platform, which is completely Web 2, and then we have our certificates, which is Web 3. So we are blending here, and I feel it's great. And I'm really happy that I had trust in my community, and I didn't want to give them the easy way, the easy access, and I just created environment for them to try, and without making it too difficult. So I believe that with this transition to Web3, I feel like companies still should look for ways to onboard people and to educate them more, instead of just giving them the easy tool and bypassing this information. Because technically this way we're educating population, we're giving them more tools for critical thinking, for opportunities. So I think, yeah, that's something that companies should probably strive for.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like, I think in Fuel Arts, we're doing the same. We're like, trying to educate the sector in order to grow it more and more. Like our analytical reports, our webinar series is completely working like this. You just start to talk about English for IT, and now we're talking about Miami ecosystem, and I'm really curious, like, what lessons have you learned launching a business in Miami, in particular, how it was?
Well, it was surprising for me. Let me put it this way. It was surprising because I didn't realize that English for IT has its niche here too. There is a niche for English for IT, because 80% of population in Florida is Spanish speaking. 25% of population, 25% of adult population in Florida or Miami. Forgive me if I'm not sure if it's Miami or Florida. They say that they don't speak English well. So technically, a lot of business is done with Latin America, and English for IT has presence in Latin America. So for me, it was a really, really pleasant and positive surprise. I'm like, oh my God, this is perfect. This is like, so I moved my business from Ukraine, and I'm like, this is even a better place, because it opens up Latin America so much closer. And that was like one of the things. Another thing was, again, pleasant surprise, because it was really easy to assimilate, to blend into the ecosystem, to blend into the business system. I feel like Miami is a pretty easy to assimilate city, and very open, like, because a lot of people are entrepreneurs here, and a lot of people move here and they started from scratch. Everyone's really helpful, everyone's nice, everyone is open to share their insights and to share their advice, so I didn't feel any like hardship or any challenges whenever I needed something. I knew I could always find a community. And another thing, like for me, for example, when I moved to Miami, it literally took me like around 2 months to network and find people that I really needed to, because it was easy, because Miami has a lot of events. So you can like go to events, you can see who is doing what, and it's pretty much, and also like, it's relatively a small hub, like I said. So it's I would say that moving your business here or starting your business here would not be very stressful. Of course, if you know what you're doing. I mean, I'm not going to be speaking for, your business business ideas. Of course, it depends on, there are many factors, but overall, I felt like that was my feeling. What about you guys? How did you feel about starting business here or having business here? And maybe I think you moved from New York.
Yeah, thank you. That's a very good question. Actually, we founded Fuel Arts in New York back in 2019 because at that time, New York was the epicenter of the art market. And we really wanted our cohorts, our future cohorts, to be inspired during the acceleration process, because the inspiration, the environment which surrounds you, it means like 50% of success, because you generate ideas, you are eager to work even harder. So we wanted the startups who are coming to New York for the Fuel Arts art and tech vertical acceleration to be surrounded by top collectors, top art museums, top art advisors, and of course, top VCs. But after that, all the humanity, we received a pandemic, COVID-19. So during pandemic, the art society, the art community of New York was a bit spread. So they moved, a lot of collectors moved South Florida or Aspen or Austin, Texas, or the Bay Area, or Long Island. So among those destinations, and also there is a proverb like follow the money. There is a saying, follow the money. So follow the collectors, follow the art community, as soon as that was the essence of our direction at Fuel Arts. So from all of that destinations, we chose South Florida because we we understood that there is a crypto community here. There is newborn venture capital community here, and the old money and the old art collectors with their collections as the essence, as a background of all the digital assets. So there are physical assets behind them. They moved to Miami as well. So we decided to start here, to move here, and we have never regretted, because we realized that the creative tech community is actively being built there. There is a combination of the very specific and professional both art education and tech education here. So first, the academic support. Then we have a lot of governmental support, substantial governmental support from the city of Miami, from the Miami-Dade County. Also, we see the development of the communities, which is very important for startups. And also, Miami is very startup friendly. And as we know, a lot of businessmen are now moving to Miami, like Jeff Bezos moves to Miami. And in his recent interview, he said that he would like to explore some new technical opportunities here together with Amazon. I believe Anna will rejoin us now. Yeah, these are the consequences of the hurricane, which passed several hours ago in Miami. So, and after that, we see that the top businessmen are moving here. So that shouldn't be surprising that Fuel Arts moved here as well. And also the mayor of Miami, Francis Suarez, said that, recently at one of the conferences, he said that he wants to see Miami as the capital of AI in the future years. So that totally aligns with the perspective how Fuel Arts sees the future of the creative tech.
Actually, I was really surprised as well to see lots of startups from Miami during the Web Summit in Lisbon, and they're joining a lot of events, and they're trying to also tell about the benefits about making your startup in Miami, because you have a great ecosystem, you can join different communities, and it really works well. And yesterday, several startups just was in Web3 event, and they're promoting really the ecosystem. So it was really nice to see them here, especially in the European events. So Anna is here. Yeah.
Sorry,
Hi,
guys.
Anna.
Something happened on the line.
Yes,
I think
weather.
it's the storm. It's the storm and the weather, the bad weather.
Yes, that's what we said to our audience. We have replied to your question, but I believe with that we could discuss that.
I think I heard most of it. I heard most of it.
Oh,
That's,
cool.
yeah, definitely. I just wanted to add that definitely you have the population here that is, I think, art oriented and driven. It just, when we talk about, you said old money and, people from other spaces, it's really important to educate them what it is, right? Because like you were talking about modern art here. And when I say modern, I don't mean like, the style. I mean, this is a technology behind it, right? So that's something that needs elaboration.
Thank you, Anna. And I should admit that you're probably not the first, but one of the few guests among our like more than 100 webinars held who also ask us questions, which
Oh
is
my
good
God.
because
Well,
it means a real interaction. It means that you really know how to manage the community because community is not like a one-sided monologue or is a dialogue, and we're grateful to
of
you for that.
course, Dennis. But also, this is because I am a power skills coach. For your audience, power skills. This is the well. I mean, power skills. There are many power skills that we can name, but one of the crucial one is good communication. So that's technically where it comes, and it's active listening. And I just wanted to actually expand on this a little bit more because in our modern world where we talk about Web3, we talk about everything virtual, we talk about VR, we talk about augmented reality, we talk about AI, right? All the tech that is in our life on the daily now, right? People who are going to actually stand out and who have nothing to be afraid of, like all this technology, are people who have the skills that machines don't have. And guess what skills they are? Of course, they are communication skills. They are all the emotional intelligence. Not even, well, IQ and EQ go hand in hand. I actually saw a recent report that the most highly paid jobs are the jobs where math, so like technical skills, so to speak, and social skills, power skills, like your communication skills. That is why my recommendation, I want to give advice to your audience. You have to educate yourself on technology, on tech skills, but at the same time on people skills, because that is going to bring you to a success, that is going to help you build a successful career and just generally be a better person.
Great. Thank you, Anna, for sharing that. You know that we're usually having a traditional question like your advice towards the young startups, but so we believe that you have already delivered your
I'm a
best
psychic.
advice.
I'm a psychic. I can read.
Best advice towards
minds.
them. So we'll skip this question, but we still have 5 minutes and 2 questions left. The first one is, what's your vision on the Miami venture capital ecosystem? Because finally, when we speak about tech, about community, it comes to investment. And as soon as we started talking about the possibilities and the opportunities that the tech community receives here in Miami. So what's your vision on that? Is it challenging to find investors for a startup based in Miami?
Well, that's a very good question. And to be honest, I wouldn't be an expert on VC fundraising because I am a bootstrapped founder, one of these very few rare exhibits, But I have, of course, friends who are raising capital or who have already raised capital. I would say that raising capital is hard pretty much anywhere. Probably San Francisco, Silicon Valley would be the place where it's easier. This is where people are moving to, right? This is where people are going. And also, I know Miami founders who moved or who are moving there. They say like it's going to be easier there. Yeah, you wanted to say something then.
I just wanted to say that, yes, it seems to be easier because there is
Yeah.
much more money there. And according to our recent research, 45% of the investments into Miami-based startups, they come from the Bay Area, from LA and San Fran
You see?
investors. Yes, only 10.5% of local investors, they invest in local startups. We have to
Mhm.
improve that situation. But I should say that that's not the easiest way, because the checks, the average checks for pre-seed rounds in the Bay Area, they start from 1 million, and here in
Mhm.
Miami they start from 250,000. But for creative tech startup, it's not that easy to prove that you are worth 1 million on your pre-seed round. So they come there and they say, okay, we are ready to receive 1 million. What did they hear in reply? Show us the product. Show
Gotcha.
us the traction that proves that you are worth that money for the equity you're ready to give. They say, oh, sorry, we have only this. Okay, so you're applicable only for 250. Okay, give us 250. No, because our checks start from 1 million. Go back and receive your 450 checks there, where investors are used for those checks, because all the
Yeah.
investors, they have their own investment strategy. That's
Crazy. Yeah. But that was my point, actually. That was my point, that we can't, I mean, it's very difficult to generalize VC investment in general, because you're talking about art startups, right? If we're talking about startups that are building using AI, that's going to be a completely different story, right? If we're talking about a SaaS startups that are not connected to future tech at all, that's going to be a completely different story. So I think, like, as a founder, you have to actually really see, well, first of all, you know your market and you know your idea. Yeah, you know your niche, and you have to follow just your niche. And then you have to see, like, here you may have and do your research, do your homework. Like, whatever you just said is very, very, very valuable for someone who is raising capital, right? Like, for example, one of my friends, she went to New York to raise capital, because it was like hard for her to raise capital here in Miami with her Web2 company, right? So it's a consumer app. So like, consumer is a very, tough niche in some respect, right? But like, we all work in really tough niches. Like, my niche is adult ed tech. People don't like ed tech. If I wanted to raise capital for ed tech, you know what I heard from people, like from investors, like, Anna, ed tech is not sexy. Blockchain is sexy. I'm like, hello, if there is no ed tech, people are stupid, and like, but for investors, for at least, like, again, I'm not generalizing. I was talking to investors who came to Miami, and it was around blockchain conference events. Of course, there are blockchain enthusiasts. They want to invest in blockchain, right? So that investor was perfect for someone building in blockchain, not for someone who's building ad tech. So it's like, you have to be really strategic about that, right? So I believe that there is a success opportunity in every city and in every venture you're doing, whether you are bootstrapping, you're raising capital, or you are investing in startups, right? It's just about you being strategic and connecting with the right people. But it doesn't really matter where you are. You can be like living and building in Miami, but like you said, attract investment from elsewhere, and it will be even better. You're like inviting more money to Miami, and you are here building the team, expanding the city. Because I would love to see Miami grow, because we have so much potential here. All these areas, we have amazing spaces that can be turned into office spaces, and we just like need more builders building real things. And I feel like the tech industry is here to help with that.
Thank you, Anna. If we still have a chance for a quick question towards you, but before that, I'd like to comment on what you've said about investment, because it's our favorite area. Yeah, from our experience, when we hear that your area is not sexy, that's just an excuse that investors just don't want to give money, because your traction is not sexy, your numbers are not sexy, because in the end of the day, there is only one sexy thing for investors: is money, is revenue. So when the ad tech startups shows up a positive traction, revenue, it is sexy.
It was like, this comment, to be honest, this particular comment was even like, I wasn't like pitching. I was, it wasn't even like showing traction or anything. It was just like, the fact that the area of investment. Yeah, that was this is what like one particular person wanted to say. But yeah, you're right. Absolutely. Attraction and your revenue, if you have some, and your profit, that's what people want to see.
Yeah, and
I
a
guess.
short question from Daria.
Yeah, I guess it will be the most interesting question for our audience because Anna, you have a lots of experience in building community and you're working a lot with creative tech sector, with builders and innovators. And like, how do you envision the development of Miami's creative tech sector in the coming years?
Creative tech.
Creative
tech. Wow, creative tech.
Art, fashion, design, film, music, literature, theater, media.
Yeah, I'm thinking about these things because I really like fashion. So hopefully there's going to be more fashion happening. But like I said, I feel like these they already exist. People are already building in this space. Like we recently had a fashion pop-up, 3-day like a pop-up show where they brought together local fashion designers and fashion designers from Latin America and artisan designers, and I think it's really good. And I feel like people will be also gearing towards technology, right? Because like when we talk about fashion, there is like this augmented fashion where you can try on, like have outfits, like I don't know, for someone like me, an influencer, this is great. You don't have to buy new clothes all the time. This is sustainability and other things. So I feel like Miami will be developing. I don't know how fast it's possible, but I'm really happy that people like you guys are building the ecosystem here. So you're supporting. So hopefully you can build a community around it. And like you said, Daria, building the community, this is key because through the community, people are actually able to grow, to develop their ideas, to grow their businesses. And I believe personally in collaboration over competition, right? Partnerships over competition. So even if there is another Web3 community that is in Miami, I am so happy to partner up and do something together, like partner up on the fundraisers that we can bring people together, or like you're building creative Web3 community. If there is someone else doing that, it's worth partnering up, especially for industries, like really young industries like Web3 or I don't know, AI or like Web VR or AR. So I believe we have to, if we want to succeed in this, we have to partner up. We don't have to compete, but really partnering up. And that's like the future mindset. Like this is not the future, this is present and future business mindset. So my recommendation, create strategic partnerships, be nice, be kind, right? Be kind to each other, and definitely just like be consistent, right? Be consistent in what you're doing, even if like you feel that, oh my God, this is not working as fast as I want to, or something else. But like this is what building a startup is about. Like you said, we're wrapping up with the words you said, Dennis, at the very beginning of the show. It's like a storm, right? In Miami, it's sunny, and then it's stormy, it's windy, and then it's rainy, and then it's back again, it's sunny. So yeah, so that's probably my my 2 words of advice here.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you.
Thank you so
I'm so
much,
glad,
Anna,
particularly to hear
coming.
about partnerships, importance of partnerships, at the head of partnerships at Visual Arts. It's so nice that you're talking about the importance.
I knew you're gonna like it.
Yeah, the most when I'm asked who is the most important person in a today's startup or a established company, I always say it's the head of partnerships, because it's all about partnerships. Nowadays, it's much easier to receive a good partnership than a substantial investment. But then the partnerships could lead to investments and should lead to investments.
You never know. Definitely. The more we collaborate, the more opportunities we create. I usually like to say that don't wait for the serendipity to come to your life. We have to make serendipity work. You have to work, right? So by creating all these like partnerships or even integrations like we did today, you never know, so that was really nice. Thank you for having me, by the way. I hope it was useful for your audience, and I really enjoyed the conversation. So hopefully we create some serendipitous foundation for something in the future.
Thank you so much, Anna, again. In a week, we'll announce another project of Fuel Arts, which is like focused on the development of the Miami local creative tech ecosystem. We'll be happy to invite you to participate in that. But that will be in a week. And I wish you good luck and the end of this thunderstorm. We see sun now over Miami. So yeah.
Miami Beach is different. Brickell is very overcast. Miami Beach has a microclimate, by the way. I Googled that. So you guys are always different weather.
Good. So anytime you are sick and tired of Brickell, please visit Miami Beach for a microclimate.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.